And when you find a way to win games without making shots, it gives you the utmost confidence that they got to make some here sooner or later.
Not only winning games, they've won every game. Undefeated Purdue, number 1 in the country, controls the tap. And off we go, post-Christmas from Mackey Arena. Final non-conference game for Purdue. They'll get into the Big Ten slate, start it in earnest after this game into the new year. And first look is a 3 for Fletcher Loyer, and it's short, but Zach Edey clears the offensive glass. And he turns it over, intercepted by Luis June. And he took steps.
It's a good first play for Purdue coming out, got Fletcher Loyer at the top of the key. That's one of the shots he'll end up making. Fletcher's not shooting the ball great from three-point land right now, but he's done it his entire career. This guy can shoot the ball from all over the floor, so just a matter of time to when they start falling.
Like we just talked about to open up, that is a team-wide thing right now. It's not just Fletcher Loyer hitting more shots, it's team-wide.
I mean, everybody's struggling right now, but these are guys that's made shots before. You think of Caleb First, Ethan Morton, both of those guys were over 40% from 3 last year. So as long as they keep taking good ones, they'll fall eventually. The numbers will even out.
The entire Florida A&M defense is down there on Zach Edey and Caleb First.
And that's what we call sending an entire kitchen sink at the big fella. And that's what you're going to have to do. If you leave Zach Edey one-on-one in the post, it's going to be a bucket 10 out of 10 times.
We asked Florida A&M, would they triple Zach Edey today? They said no, but we didn't account for the quadruple team on the 2 of them. There's Smith, lob up top for Zach Edey.
It's a really good pass by Brandan Smith, driving the lane with his head up, throwing it up to the rim with the big fella going to finish it.
Well, when you're not hitting outside shots, it's nice to have that.
There you go. You got a 7'3" guy at the rim, 7'4". Takes just the pressure off of these guards. You throw the ball inside, it's going to be something good happening.
Well, if it wasn't clear from that dunk, Zach Edey told us this morning he's feeling much, much better than he was right before Christmas out with illness.
You know, I knew he was feeling good when he came out earlier, shoot around, listening to some 50 Cent, getting his game going.
Oh, nice move for Jordan Tillman to get to the rim.
Jordan Tillman's going to have to do a lot of that in this one. He can score the ball, but it's all about staying under control, not turning the ball over and taking good shots. He's the leader of this team offensively and defensively.
And Braden Smith slices in again, got caught underneath the rim, and the rebound for Chase Bars. So Florida A&M comes in here experienced against high major teams. They've played 8 games against high major teams. And just came off a stretch before Christmas playing Louisville and Kentucky. And played Kentucky close to halftime. We're down 10 in that game.
They got that Kentucky game down to a 7-point game with 6 minutes to go. Just couldn't find a way to close it out.
Late in the clock, and Zach Edey swats that out of bounds.
That's just a great defensive possession by Purdue. And Zach Edey doesn't get enough credit for what he does on the defensive end. Just sliding his feet, coming over, and blocking the ball without fouling. He's been doing a great job this year of not fouling or following through and making contact.
He knocks it out of bounds with 2 on the clock. And Luis June has that blocked. And back-to-back swats for the Boilers. Ethan Morton doing his best, Zach Edey.
Ethan Morton has really stepped into that role for Purdue this season. Last year, they didn't have a defensive guy that just wanted to defend every possession. And that's been Ethan Morton. And when you have a best player on your team, normally 10 times or not, Ethan Morton's going to be the gardener.
Last game, there were some stretches Purdue didn't defend great. Matt Painter asked about the decision to switch up the defense at halftime. He just said, yeah, we put Ethan Morton on their best player. Yep. Problem fixed. Yep. There's Loyer off on the 3. And Purdue is not going to be a one and done. They'll get a second chance.
But it's contagious. You talk about Ethan Morton. Playing hard is contagious. And when you have a guy that just sacrificed himself on the defensive end or plays hard the entire game, it bleeds into everybody else on the floor. Ethan Morton isn't always looking for his. He's trying to do whatever it takes to make this Purdue team great.
Yeah, not a lot of stuff run for him, not a lot of scoring for him, but gotten that Grady Eifert comp for good reason a couple of times. Here's Smith leaving his feet. There's Loyer for 3. He books this one.
Just got to keep shooting them. You got to shoot the ball when you're open. No matter when it goes in, this is a guy that's born to shoot the basketball. National high school three-point shoot winner. He can do it all over the court.
And it's not just from 3 where he's scored this year, but Purdue has had their best games when he is knocking them in out there.
And it's been impressive how Fletcher's been able to come in as a freshman, drive the basketball, get to the rim, get into his pull-up, just show different signs of his game.
Getting to the free throw line a little bit too. And pull-up jump shot missed for Jordan Chapman. And this will stay down here with the Rattlers, baseline out. So you always wonder about this lower scoring starts game after Christmas. There's going to be a little bit of sluggishness. Energy good, shot just not hitting you.
Yeah, Purdue had great energy in their shoot around today. Didn't look like they had time off at all. That's a pop to their step. All the guys excited. They were making shots all shoot around. As a matter of fact, just got to get it going, get that rust off.
Here's Tillman probing. Late in the clock again for Florida A&M. Down to 5 to shoot. Sweeping into the lane. Bates has it stripped away. Edey and Morton combining again. Lawyer just hit the 3, driving baseline, and he scores the easy 2.
Just great two-man ball movement, cross-court passes. One Fletcher to Ethan, and Ethan back to Fletcher Lawyer, and Fletcher with the heady play. He just made a shot. They're going to close out hard to you, drives to the basket, and gets one at the rim. Fletcher's been doing a great job at not just being a three-point shooter, just attacking off the bounce as well.
We saw that in the early Big Ten game against Nebraska. He scored 22 on a night where he didn't have his outside shot going. And he's away from the pack with Brandan Smith. And Purdue settles half court. Here's Morton open on the baseline. That window closes. And he gets hit by Luis June. And he'll have 2 foul shots on the other side of the break.
And this Purdue team is doing it from the jump.
You know, talking to Terry Johnson, one of Matt Painter's assistants this morning at shoot-around, asked him, who's the guy that's most likely on your team to have butterflies in a game like this right after Christmas? He said, it's not one of our players. It's Matt Painter.
Yeah, I agree with that. Coach wants you to come out, play hard, play the game the right way, not have any sluggish on your bone, and just come out and attack. Play Purdue basketball. Don't turn the ball over, out-rebound your opponent, and play with a fight. And that's what Purdue is doing early. They've gotten Florida A&M down in the shot clock a couple times, turned them over. That's what Coach wanted to see.
Well, it's felt like this entire game coming this direction where we're headed right now has been played under 10 seconds.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do. You want to get your opponent under 10 seconds on that shot clock, play without fouling, be physical, but make them take a tough one at the end.
That was not the idea. 25 feet away. Got a touch foul on Fletcher Lawyer. And first on Purdue and first on Lawyer. Florida A&M without a Division I win yet, 2-8. Their head coach, Robert McCollum, described it in one word. It's been challenging for Florida A&M on both ends. After they lost a ton last year, basically turned over their entire roster. Here's Jalen Bates, their top scorer, and way off. And late in the clock again, that's a shot clock violation.
Purdue has just connected all five players together on defense. The coach was speaking earlier. 6 new transfers from junior college, a full roster turnover. He just wants these guys to be simple. Don't turn the ball over, play together on defense, but above all, take good shots.
The former Lon Kruger assistant at Illinois. It's a return to Mackey for him today. We asked him for his best memories. He said, none. We never beat those guys. It didn't matter where we played them when I was at Illinois. A tough catch for Edey, and he flips it up, gets the roll.
Just beautiful catch, just a really soft finish around the rim. A big fella that big, that strong, having that type of finesse is special to watch. Zach Edey draws a lot of attention at the basket. He can finish with the best of them.
A little wide receiver in him, tight rope and baseline. He got the shooter's bounce. It's him and Lawyer combining for 9 points early for Purdue. And 5 for Lawyer and 4 for Edey. A contested 3 rattles down Peyton Williams.
And that was good help from Fletcher Lawyer coming over to contest the shot. He just got to go with a sense of energy, a sense of urgency. Go and don't let him get that shot off. Don't go just to close out. Teams are going to try and do that to Purdue all season long. Coach McCollum talked about it earlier. Try to spread Zach Edey out, get some jump shots up, but the other guys have to rotate.
Well, then Edey goes right back in and does that off the Morton pass. And then he gets fouled. Now, this was that catch you're just talking about, the finesse at 7-4.
And just a great pass from Ethan Morton, being able to throw it to where only your guy can go and get it. Threw it to the corner of the backboard. Zach Edey went up to grab it with 2 hands, not with one, and going up to finish. Once he catches it right there by that rim, there's nothing no one in the country can do with it.
I know this is an evergreen statement, Rafael, but the matchup, Zach Edey today, is interesting, but Peyton Williams in particular, the guy that just hit the 3 for Florida A&M, he could be the floor stretcher to try to drag him away.
Yeah, Peyton Williams is a traditional forward, and that's what Coach talked about, making Purdue spread their defense out. Williams is normally a shooter, so if he can spread it out, it can offset some of those post-ups.
You could argue that counted as a shot. Oh, nice block from Bates after Brandan Newman was right at the doorstep. Well, Purdue fans wanted to travel. They say play on. And back into the hands of Williams, and here you go. Edey stretched out away from the rim.
But Zach Edey's got to stay in the stance. That's what teams are going to do. Hunter Dickinson can shoot the three. Indiana's going to try and drive him with Trace Jackson-Davis. He's going to have to be in a stance the entire season.
And they forced him to give it up, but here he is on the perimeter again. And off of the shot fake, Williams got a clean look. And Edey clears glass.
That's what he cannot do. He can't run out there and jump at shot fakes. You got to be solid and make guys shoot over.
Newman stops on a dime, in and out. Edey offensive rebound, and wrestling his way back into the paint, and that is a foul on somebody.
5 guys surrounding him. You could just pick one and pick which one grabbed him.
Who you got?
I got the entire team for one, but Zach Edey, he just hits the glass so hard, averaging around 6 offensive rebounds a game. You've got to hit him and push, not just with one body. You've got to send 3, 4 and really attack him on that offensive glass. Purdue is one of the better offensive rebounding teams, not just in the Big Ten, but in the country. Averaging around 13 offensive rebounds a game. When the shot goes up, sometimes that's their best offense to go and get it off the glass. Which is why when they're struggling from 3, they can go and get half of those misses.
Foul before the inbounds. Down Richard Matthews, a little deeper down the rotation for Florida A&M. I mean, it was even Mason Gillis was in there with contact on Zach Edey. 3 Florida A&M players plus his own guy on top. So Edey checking out. And this is usually where you see a little bit more 5-out motion for Purdue. Offense almost entirely changes at times for them. And there's a foul. And Brandan Newman going to the free throw line.
It just makes it so hard to scout this Purdue team. When Zach Edey's in, you know you have a post presence with shooters around him. When this lineup comes in, you got Jenkins Jr., Brandan Newman, TKR. These guys can really score the basketball, can get up and run a gun.
So it'll be Newman at the free throw line. Guard that's given Purdue an occasional scoring burst. Debuted this season with a really good game against Milwaukee.
2 men, 2 shots.
It's all about being simple for Brandan Newman. When he plays the game the right way, good things happen for him.
In and out on the first one. Hey, later tonight, don't miss a women's hoops doubleheader. The Boilermakers look for the upset against Caitlin Clark and the 12th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. The action tips off 9 Eastern, only on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. And the quadruple dip of men's basketball. Making 5 games on the network today with Caitlin Clark and Iowa against Purdue to close it out. As Newman goes 1 and 2 at the line for Purdue. Chapman left wide open. Newman fell down, and Newman skying for the rebound, making up for it.
He's been a good defensive rebounder this season. Just going there and attacking the basketball. You know, Zach Edey came the first TKR to get a lot of attention, so he's able to go in and grab a few of those. Good pass.
Gillis off of the shot fake with the pass and feeds Newman for 3.
That's just good basketball. Mason Gillis passing up a good shot for himself to get a great one for a teammate. He's been playing great off of that pump fake, getting into that lane and making those passes.
Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Zach Edey honored before the game, 1,000 points, and many more to come for the front runner for National Player of the Year right now. Back with Rayfeld Davis, Connor Onion, and Mackey Arena.
You know, Connor, Zach Edey passed me when he reached 1,000 points. I was the guy he had to pass up, so it's an honor to be passed up by the Player of the Year, huh?
You mean that for real?
Yeah, I mean it with the deepest part of my heart. Zach Edey's a great dude. Won't be passed up by anybody else.
You're one of the more sincere people that I work with, but I'm not so sure about the sincerity of that. I don't know if you wanted him to pass you. And Florida A&M smacks a 3 out of the timeout, and Gillis right back at him.
So you can hear Mason Gillis screaming, one more. David Jenkins hit him right on the money, and he knocked it down. Mason Gillis is a guy that was a 50, 40, 90 guy last year. It's only a matter of time before he starts making shots from deep, really affecting this Purdue offense.
Down about 10% from the floor. He's at 36% from 3 at low volume. Into the post, and it's whisked out of there. And Gillis in on that play after he hits the 3. And he feeds Kaufman Wren streaking down the lane, and he's got foul shots.
Just a heady play from Mason Gillis. he was behind on that last play defensively, caught up to the play, got his hand in there, and then on this offensive end, just making a great play to TKR down the middle. TKR running just straight to the rim. If you're a big man, you're in transition, just run, put your nose on the front of that rim, your teammates should find you.
So 2 at the line for Trey Kaufman-Renn, coming off his best game of the season. Nice bounce there. He is looking to score right now. He had 24 the other night against New Orleans.
What a luxury to have when your big man steps out of the game with the illness, doesn't play, and then your backup center comes in and gets you 24 on 10 shots, goes 8 for 10 from the free throw line, and he's a load downer on that block. Now he's going to start seeing those doubles and triples come. He's going to start having to make the right decision out of it.
About 8 to 10 minutes per game on average for Kaufman-Renn. It's not because he's not doing stuff right in practice. There are just only so many minutes you got with a 4-man front line for Purdue.
I mean, yeah, you got Zach Edey. You're playing behind a National Player of the Year. One, you're just going to get better in practice. But you look at Trey Kaufman-Renn, he would start halfway around the Big Ten and get major minutes.
Well, Williams gave it away for Florida A&M, and Jenkins hangs on to it. And Florida A&M buzzing around defensively. Jenkins pops out the 3, and there's Gillis active in this segment.
It's a man's rebound, going up and grabbing it with 2 and putting it up against the trees.
It may have seen some elbows go flying down there. Dominguez Stevens has the jersey up to that right eye. And he'll have to come out, but you called it a man's rebound. This is Gillis.
This is a man's rebound, going up with 2 hands, grabbing it around 3 or 4 players, just making it your ball. This should have been Florida A&M's basketball. But Mason Gillis, one of the toughest guys in college basketball, when he's around, you got to get physical with him.
Stevens got hit by his own guy.
Yeah, he did.
How physical Gillis was, you could have understood if it was Stevens taking a ball from him, but it was Williams down there that got him. So he comes out in the officials' time. And another late clock for Florida A&M. Jenkins right in the shorts of Tillman. And Tillman gets free and is long in the 3. And Jenkins looking for guys running with him, and Gillis can't save it.
David Jenkins, you shoot that basketball. You're up in the air. You've almost scored 2,000 points in your career, and let that one go. David Jenkins has got to look for his offense when he's in the game. He's got to make shots. He's a guy that's made over 300 threes before coming to Purdue. He's not shooting the ball at his caliber, at his rate that he knows he can. Once he gets going off the bench, it just adds a different layer to this Purdue team.
He's hit threes in 4 different leagues.
He can do it.
At 4 different schools. And his best work came as freshman and sophomore year, South Dakota State. And he won some Summit League titles. And a nice move for Luis June on the spin.
Luis June has got to do more of that. He's got to be aggressive offensively. He's a great defender. He's long. He's athletic. But when he gets in the lane and he's confident and comfortable, he can make some things happen.
And this is that 1-2-2 that Florida A&M will throw at you, and they force a turnover out of it. Luis June picking it up after he scored it, and that'll be tied up.
Good job by Brandan Newman. Sometimes when you reach in there with one hand, you get that foul, that reach call. But when you reach in there with 2 hands and you go to grab the basketball, the referee normally let that one go. Great job by Brandan Newman being where he should have been and help side. It's another guy that's just accepted their role this season. Brandan Newman this year is to actually be more of a defender, actually be a great rebounder, make shots when he's open. He's doing just that.
And that has been a winding career for him. And a 3 back in for Luis June, starting to fall now for the Rattlers.
Luis June, he can go. This Rattlers team, they have guys that can fill it up once they get going. It's a matter of fact of taking good shots, not turning the ball over, and being confident offensively.
Yeah, they are not scared to shoot it. There's some guys that can get it up. And a bank shot goes in. Brandan Newman high off glass.
That's the basketball guys. Brandan Newman is living right. When you're living right, the basketball guys tend to reward you.
Well, he had a whistle underneath. It looks like we got a foul underneath against Florida A&M after the make. That clanged glass and down. Nice.
When you got it, you got it. Brandan Newman's not going to complain about that one. He's just going to take it.
Christmas season not over after all. But number that we gave you coming in with Zach Edey coming back in. Free throws coming on the off-ball foul. Has Kaufman run at the free throw line, but you saw those three-point numbers. 50%, maybe not always the cleanest, but better than the last 3 games for sure.
It's all about taking good shots. This Purdue team, they've had good looks, they just haven't fall. But when they take good shots, they're going to start to make them the numbers. Coach is big on numbers, he's big on percentages, and it starts to even out here in a while.
Fouled way out wide on David Jenkins. Is that almost like the cliche that coaches give you? If shooters need a layup or a free throw to get going, maybe you just need a bank shot to get the entire team going from 3?
Just need to see them go in. Once you see some shots fall, it just gets contagious. It encourages others to keep shooting the basketball, and that's what you don't want. When you're struggling, your team is struggling, you don't want guys to get tight or guys to be unsure of themselves from 3. You want them to stay loose and keep shooting them, and when they fall, they're going to fall in bunches.
You're saying Purdue's going to come out shooting like Tim Duncan, banking everything in. That's what I took from what you just said.
If it goes in, I don't think Coach will complain.
Another deep jump shot. Oh, pave you one right back on the other end with Issa getting one to bounce home.
Another bank, you called it.
Just a bunch of big fundamentals on the floor at Mackey today. Here's Newman off of the catch. That's long. Putback is down. Kaufman Wren.
Purdue just does a great job of hitting the offensive glass. Right now, Purdue has 5 offensive rebounds. Florida A&M has 5 total rebounds. So that's what this Purdue team, they just come at you 40 minutes straight, guys, all game long.
Oh, woof, that number you just gave staggering. 3, Tillman, no. And it's a rebound-heavy day once again for Kaufman Wren. After he played great against New Orleans. There you go. Purdue more than doubling up Florida A&M on the glass. And another new guy, Chase Bars on Edey. And then down late in the clock for Kaufman Wren. And getting single coverage and gets fouled. Issa wraps around.
It's something that Coach Painter takes very seriously. When I play here, we had academic coaches. We had guys that checked in on our grades. Todd Foster does a fabulous job. He was a guy that played here at Purdue, is now the academic advisor for the team. Academics is really valued at this university. Coach does a great job of it.
And Fletcher Lawyer says he wants to be a doctor, using that good GPA. David Jenkins might be a culinary school guy after basketball. Maybe become a chef. I like Trey Kaufman Wren, though. He says he wants to be a professional video gamer.
And it's doable for him. If you've been around Trey Kaufman Wren, you understand that he has a passion for his video games, and he's pretty good at them. But Coach does a great job at really expressing that life is bigger than basketball. Coming to Purdue is bigger than basketball. And above all, he wants you to leave this university as a great young man and be set up for your future.
Are you telling me you've caught a body from TKR on 2K?
I have not. I haven't played. I'm not good at video games at all.
Well, here he is, and he scores it, getting his man on the deck. Now we had a whistle after. Looked like they called a flop as well. Luis June tried to take the charge. We were just talking about this today. This is such a hard spot to be in as a defender.
Yeah, I mean, you're guarding TKR. Zach Edey's cutting to the basket, so there's no way you leave him to help. And if you're not as physical as Trey Kaufman Wren down on that block, he's going to abuse you every single time. He can shoot the 3, he can shoot a pull-up, but his money is down there on that block.
Here's the thing. If you're Luis June, or really any defender, to get a charge called, you got to fall down.
Yeah, you got to fall down. That's something that I'm not particularly fond of this season with that new flop rule, especially when it comes to charges. Because if you're a guy, you don't play much, you want to come in the game, you want to impress your coach, you're going to try and take a charge. And you can't take a charge without fouling. So it's up to the ref's discretion a lot, but it may take away from guys playing as hard as they can and not trying to be as physical.
And I wonder if there will be an amendment to that rule as we get into next year and beyond. And Zach Edey just swallowing up that shot at Chapman.
That's why he's one of the better defensive players in the league. He doesn't blow you away with his block numbers, averaging around 2 a game, but he's just a mountain, a tree down there. And if you're driving in there, you've got to go dunk on him.
Florida A&M got around the mountain and through the valley with the basketball.
There we go.
Chapman had the takeaway, gives it up. And Jalen Bates, quiet start for Florida A&M.
Bates has got to shoot that basketball. He's got to be more aggressive. He's got to get some shots up to be able to get himself into a flow and really attack this defense.
And he's kind of been thrust into that role as the top scorer for Florida A&M. There's a deep three that goes through for Stevens.
It's one thing that Stevens is not shy. He is not shy to shoot the basketball. He can get them up in bunches. 10 shots in the game, playing 10 minutes. He can really score that ball. It's just about being confident, being poised, being mature on the floor, being mature off the floor. He'll see more time on it.
Yeah, for those at home, that's a shot a minute that he's averaging. And right to the rim for the point guard, Brandan Smith. Well, you talk about a guy that maximizes shots when he gets in the game. Dominguez Stevens missed the first month of the year and got all that offense back in the first 3 games he was on the floor for Florida A&M.
Some guys are just wired to score the basketball. Dominguez Stevens is one of them. Great defense by Brandan Smith.
Well, he didn't have numbers with him, tried the no-look, and it's out off the shin of Peyton Williams. So Purdue will keep it. Caleb First back in after Purdue just forced their 8th turnover of this first half.
I mean, just think about Trey Kaufman-Renz subbing out. He did great run, 7 points in that stretch. And then now you got your starting 4-man and Caleb First coming to the game. Just really difficult for opposing coaches to be able to scheme for this and have guys to match the type of bodies that Purdue has. Good.
Smith hooks it back up to Morton. Lawyer off the extra, steps inside, and knocks it down. The Lawyer had that loud start with 5 of the first 7 for Purdue. Back in the books, he's got 7 in the first half. And down on this end, Purdue went the first 6 minutes of the game, allowing just 2 points. Florida A&M has gotten it going a little bit more from 3. And since that point, they're at 50%. And a 3 to shoot. Another 3, it's Bates. Off again, and Purdue smothering the top scorer for the Rattlers and get a foul on the rebound as well.
And that's the type of help defense. When you see Ethan Morton come over and attack Jane Bates on that play, not let him get a comfortable shot off, that's the type of rotations this Purdue teams need. When you make a rotation, you attack the basketball, don't let him get a comfortable shot up. Be disruptive, be in his head, and let him know you're right there.
Look, I look at Ken Pom numbers just like you do, like a lot of Purdue fans do. So I know what the numbers say, but I want to know from you're watching a lot of film on these guys. How much better are they defensively than last year?
Oh, they're a ton better. I mean, it's nothing outside of just pure 1-2. I think this team wants to defend. A lot of these guys, they didn't get major minutes outside of Zach Edey last season. They played bench roles and they were backups. And as a backup, you have to defend. So this year they already came in with that type of mindset. And now when you have 2 new freshmen and Fletcher and Braden, they have to fit into that. They have to fit into playing hard. They have to fit into committing to defending. And that's what's happening this season.
Are they as good as that says?
Oh, yeah, they are. They've gotten back to Purdue ways defensively. They're turning you over. They're getting into you. And then they're doing a great job on the defensive glass, only allowing 1 shot. But they just got guys that are committed to playing hard, committed to defending. Last year they had a lot of guys that knew how many minutes they were playing the game. And sometimes when you know I'm going to play 25, 30 minutes regardless, you can take some plays off. This year's team, if you're not playing hard, you're not locking up. It's going to be a sub.
And they have defended for long stretches in the half court in this first half. And another contested shot, and Morton clipped the feet. And a 3-point shooting foul for Stevens. So those will come after the timeout.
We were here earlier in shoot around. First player to hit the floor, Zach Edey, working on his free throws. So this isn't a surprise. He's a guy that works on his game. He does the right things off the court. Success will come to him.
Hey, you're out there having fun getting shots up, and then Zach Edey said, hey, it's time to actually work. I need the free throw line. But if he were to become the National Player of the Year, he would join this group. These are the last 3 guys in the Big Ten that have won National Player of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, this is a phenomenal list. And I had to guard Frank Kaminsky at times. I know how good of a player he was, how great of a team he played on. To be on a list with Glenn Robinson, who I consider the best college basketball player to ever play, it's just a great stout, great feat for Zach Edey.
Anytime you're on the list for Big Dog, as a Boilermaker, you're doing something right.
There you go.
So remember, those are the bigs only. Of course, there have been some guards. Trey Burke has won it. Some wings, but Zach Edey trying to join that list of Big Ten bigs. And if the season ended today, he would.
I mean, he's right there. I mean, I think he's going to keep playing this way. I don't see anything slowing him down. We hope an injury doesn't come through this season. But he's a guy who's just so dominant, and he's willing. He's a willing passer. He's a willing rebounder. He's a willing defender. He does all the little things that every coach would love.
Foul shots for Stevens after he was hit by Morton before the timeout. And he got the final one. And the final segment before halftime. So 6 points for Stevens. And trying to help Florida A&M overcome turnovers and the rebounding gap with Purdue. And of course, when you got that front line, you're going to see a lot of that. Plus 10 in the paint for the Boilermakers in this first half. And back to the paint. There's Edey, and he scores plus the foul.
There's nothing Williams can do right there. Zach Edey posting up right there in the middle of the floor. A great play coming out of that timeout to get him a touch in the middle of the paint. You cannot double when he's right there in the middle. You got shooters around him. What are you going to do? Williams is just too small, too light in the pants, and Zach Edey just takes full advantage at the rim.
So you've got bucket plus one more. And slides off, and he settles for two. Edey in this first half, he's got 6 on 3 of 4 shooting to go with 6 rebounds. So in double-double territory, as you'd expect. All but 2 games this year, he's gotten to the double-double. Williams stretches Edey out again, gets him into the paint, and the fall-away goes through.
It's a great poised move, under control by Williams. Got to his spot, got to his little pull-up. But that's what Zach Edey has to do. He has to close out under control, force him to score over you, and that's what Williams just did there.
Now, Robert McCollum, Florida A&M's coach, said we would see a lot of Peyton Williams today. And he's had a good first half after he refound his footing in the Kentucky game for Florida A&M before Christmas. Inside 10 to shoot, it's Lawyer. Too strong. Smith, the offensive rebound. And Smith will slow it up. Purdue not typically in a rush down on this end. Drive and kick out for a 3. No. First the follow, yes.
Another offensive rebound. They just come at you in waves. Everybody attacks the glass. 2 offensive rebounds in that possession. Even Brandan Smith getting one. This Purdue team offensively, when they come and crash, it's special to see.
So you're not putting offensive rebounding on the top 3 as far as skills for Brandan Smith?
I put rebounding in there for him. He gets in that keyhole. He grabs a lot of those long rebounds. He does great at that.
We're going pass defense scoring, right?
Yeah, I go pass defense scoring.
His top 3 skills in a pretty deep bag for Brandan Smith. Hey, coming up next, conference play gets going for the Hawkeyes and the Huskers. They square off in Lincoln. Big Ten basketball presented by Rocket Mortgage. It is next, only on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Connor McCaffrey, Chris Murray have been out for Iowa. Reports early in the day, it sounds like they're going to give it a go.
Yeah, it's going to be big for Iowa to get Chris Murray back. I mean, I think this Iowa team could win the Big Ten with the healthy Chris Murray. He's a walking double-double at 20 and 10. It's going to be a good one today.
End of the clock, floater for Stevens is through.
He's really got it going. He's feeling it, and he's doing his job on defense. He's hitting the glass, he's guarding, but offensively, he's getting wherever he wants to go. But he's going to have to find an answer for him.
Coming off his season high, 13 points in 10 minutes against Kentucky. And he's got 8 first-half points. Still a minute and a half to go. Morton, contested pop. Oh, he airballed it. And even with Edey trucking guys down there, out of bounds. Back to the Rattlers.
I want to see Brandan Smith be more aggressive. He's passed up a couple open shots, a couple shots he could have shot to find others, and I understand he's passing up good ones for great ones. But he's got to find his own rhythm going into this conference play, being able to be confident and step into some shots and make them.
And at 9 points a game, you think maybe we see more than that in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think so. I think his shot attempts go up, his scoring averages go up, his minutes go up. They're going to need him to play well all Big Ten season.
Tillman carved out space. Nice move to score.
He's patiently aggressive right there by Tillman, being able to get Ethan Morton on his hip, fill him all the way through and get into his easy pull-up.
So Tillman in this first half scoring for Florida A&M, and long on the 3 for Newman. And one and done, a rare one and done today for Purdue. Oh, Newman wanted to get it back. Stevens can't convert.
Another man's rebound by Mason Edey. He goes up with two-hand power rebound.
And Newman lost it. And Florida A&M charging down, and they get bars. Bates up top on the slam. Stevens set it up, and Florida A&M just before the half feeling good, hitting some jump shots, and now in transition they score.
Stevens is playing well. Offensively, he's ignited the team. He's sharing the sugar, passing it in transition. And when he gets his heads up, this team could be special. He could have took this and took it all away, but it's a great pass to Bates, and Bates going to finish. Heady play right here. Bates going up to finish. This Rattler team is going to need Bates to get going if they want to stick around in this one.
And Stevens, by the way, not only a shooter. He does like to jack it up, but threw up the lob that time.
Yeah, he likes to get his shots up, but now he's in the rhythm. Now he's in the flow. He's throwing lobs. He's having fun. And they're only down 11 going into this half. They finished this half in a great way. Purdue's got to come out and get a bucket to make them feel good going into halftime.
Florida A&M down just 10 at Kentucky in their pre-Christmas game. Trying to do maybe one better than that. Will Purdue will be able to hold for the final shot here. What do you want to see for the Boilers before half?
This ball is going inside.
Yep.
I think this ball is going inside right to the big fella. If they triple, double, I think he kicks it out. But I think he's the first option. There's someone else playing off of that.
Full court pressure again from Florida A&M. The final 15 seconds of this first half. Inside 10 to go. And it does go inside, and a hold down there. Saeed Burnside was up top on Edey, and he'll have a couple free throws.
It's just so hard to sit on Zach Edey when everybody around him is moving. Brandan Newman does a great fake cross screen and pop up to the top, and when that big fella posts up dead in the middle, there's no help, there's no weak side, there's nothing you can do with him.
One of the managers and the staff for Purdue are always over there. Little tallies for every feed into the post. Something that they've used heavily in recruiting.
Oh, yeah, something that we started when I was playing, where we had A.J. Hammonds and the offense shifted to more throw the ball inside. You throw that ball inside, you get a little check mark, and then you go and film the next day and see who threw it in the most. And normally the guy that does is going to play the most.
A good way to get 7-footers to keep coming back. Purdue uses one of their fouls to give.
Oh, it's a great way. If I'm a big fella and I understand that the school that's recruiting me, they actually throw the ball inside. They actually have guys that know how to post feed, that know where I like the ball. Why wouldn't you come and play at Purdue?
Now, back in your day, that was star manager Cooper Robinson.
Cooper Robinson, that's my guy.
Over there in his gold jacket.
We got a lot of memories. Cooper's freshman year coming in to rebound for me late at night. It'd be 11, 12, midnight, and Cooper was always willing to come in and help rebound.
Is he wearing the gold jacket in the gym at midnight?
That is my guy. The manager, I always say, the managers, they make the team go. Those are the guys, they don't get a lot of attention, they don't get a lot of credit, but they're in here just as much as the players, maybe more.
The manager Hall of Fame right there, and at the buzzer, shot is blocked. So Purdue started this half on defense, locking it down the first 6 minutes. Brandan Newman sends him happy into the locker room.
If they're not making shots from deep, when that ball goes up, they got 4 guys crashing the glass, they're getting up the glass, they're cleaning it up, and they're putting it back in, capitalizing.
And again, those are your Reese's first half stats brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And Zach Edey was a big part of that. Set the table right away with a big slam to open up this game. So off we go in half number 2 from Mackey Arena. And Purdue has won 23 straight non-conference games, longest in the country. And looking for back-to-back undefeated non-conferences. And there's Edey rolling one off the rim while he got hit.
Wasn't a great pass by Ethan Morton, but he put it where no one else could get it but Zach Edey. Put it right in front of the basket. Big fella goes up with 2 hands and goes to attack that glass.
The points and the rebound in the first half, 8.6 rebounds for Zach Edey. Impressive, but I don't know what you think. Most impressive thing I saw from him in the first half was that catch he had between 3 guys in the baseline.
I mean, yeah, that catch was special. It was a wide receiver-like, Randy Moss-like, and he has soft hands. He's physical. He's not afraid of contact, not afraid to be big. Just a special, unique type of talent in today's game.
And he gets a couple of free throws. Zach Edey starts the second half up to 9 points. And also tagged that third foul on Luis June. Well, this is what you're talking about, Ray Felt. Maybe a little bit more engagement could be had on this end for Purdue in the first half.
Yeah, finish the half, gave up a 10-7 run. That's not the way you want to finish a half when you're a team that want to compete, go to a Final Four national championship.
They get their stuff and they get their dunk from Caleb First.
Caleb First does a great job of not just running the floor, but sprinting the floor. When you have a point guard like Brandan Smith, that's a willing passer, just makes you want to run that much harder as a big fella.
And First was arriving right with Smith to put that down, so the two in the front court with the opening points of the second half for Purdue. And that's a brick for Chase Bars. Rebound, Edey.
Ethan Morton does so much for this Purdue ball club on defense. It's not just guarding his man. That time, rotating on Bates, not even letting Bates turn a reverse pivot. It's a great all-around player.
Smith had two options on screens, and Morton in and out. Oh, that was painfully close to going down, and Edey gets fouled.
Brandan Smith pushes the break with some of the best of them in the country, always with his head up, and makes the defense makes a decision. Caleb First attacking the basket, running full speed as a 4 or 5 man. Not a lot of big men can keep up with this guy on the break. Brandan Smith did a great job at making the defense commit to him. Once that defense committed to him, he made that little shuffle off pass. If that defense never committed, that was going to be 2 points for Brandan Smith at the rim.
And Zach Edey getting to the foul line. Already a second trip in the second half. And shooting it at 71%. It's not like you can go into hack and Edey move when you're in the Big Ten. It's not like you can go into that mode when you're in the Big Ten because he'll hit him. He's hit all 4 in the second half.
He'll knock him down. That separates him from former bigs that Purdue has had. You think about Isaac Haas, there'll be times where we have to take him off the floor when he couldn't make his free throws late stretch of games. Zach Edey puts time in, he works on it, and you can see the fruit of his labor paying off.
It's amazing that Isaac Haas was able to fit a size 22 shoe inside the area you're allowed to shoot free throws at. Fall away won't go. Rebound from Morton, and Purdue has it back. There's Smith probing. And 3 come to him. Oh, great feed, and First is there to finish it.
He just does a great job at staying in the middle of the floor, keeping his heads up, not getting rushed, not getting panicked. And Caleb First just with a nice, sweet move to come in front of that basket and make himself available.
Well, that's just a silly pass. In a good way, by the way. And that goes down, count it, and a foul. So Florida A&M with Chapman to the free throw line for one more.
Brandan Smith with just a heady heads-up play, keeps his head up around 3 defenders, and Caleb First just going up to finish, making himself available. Knew his guy Bates went to attack the ball, so he just found that sweet spot to make himself available for that easy deuce.
We were talking about it in the first half. A multi-skilled point guard, Brandan Smith. You said between passing, defense, and scoring, passing is the best skill he's got, and there you go. There's your visual.
I mean, just 2 passes right there in a row to show that skill off. I mean, he defends you 94 feet. He can rebound the basketball. And this guy can score the ball. It just doesn't look to score for himself a lot. And I think he should here soon.
And it looked like he had an attack-minded drive going on there, but he pulls it out.
He's a smart basketball player.
Lawyer with the dump down. Edey with the seal. Oh!
Get you some, big fella.
Yeah, he got him some.
Yeah, that was nasty, huh? There's just nothing you can do when Zach Edey is posting up in the middle of the basketball floor.
You kind of said that like, that's like a 5 for him. More to come. We'll see the 7s, 8s, and 9s in the Big Ten.
There we go.
Clips the front of the rim. And saved into Edey's hands by First. So a 20-point jump for Purdue out of halftime. And there's Smith, short. Tried to get his own. And now numbers for Florida A&M pushing ahead.
And that's okay. That's a good shot for Brandan Smith.
It's Chapman off the feed. And into the hands of Edey again. You're all good with that shot.
Oh, 100%. Come off the screen. They go under. They're not there. It's a guy that shoots 40% from 3. He can make those.
All right, Slam, what are you putting on this out of 10?
I get out of 12. 12 out of 10.
Okay.
Nah, I'm going to give it a 9. I'll give it a 9 because that is a guard that he's stuck on. That's not Cliff Amore down at that rim. And Cliff Amore had one of those here in Mackey, and Purdue fans can remember. So I know Zach Edey is waiting to play Rutgers one more time. But I give it a solid 8 or 9 because that's a guard he's dunking on. That's not another big man.
Okay, you were slow letting on to that one then. So I thought you were saying, it was all right.
He dunked it hard, but I want to see him do it on the 7-footer.
And the glass cleared by Chapman for Florida A&M.
But you just got to love big dudes that love to be big, that's not afraid to go dunk on you, is not afraid to attack that glass.
And Williams has it raked away. Caleb First in the middle of the lane. Morton leading the break, and that pass hits the feet of Smith. First is there anyway, and he gets fouled.
Caleb First is out there playing hard. You can see him right there, a little gas, 4 or 5 plays in a row. He's just sprinting the basketball floor. And when you sprint the floor, good things happen for you. He was able to be in the right place, right time, get that loose ball.
Yeah, that running turned a sloppy break into free throws anyway.
Yep. Just play the game the right way, play hard. Sometimes you end up in the right place.
Was there anybody that did Christmas better than Caleb First?
No,
His viral video?
Not at all. Even
being Buddy the Elf?
He made me go and watch Elf.
The best one is him in the window reenacting the scene in Elf.
Then Coach Paint.
Coach Painter's walking by.
The perfect actor for that role. Has that same temperament.
Caleb First saying, "Hi, Dad," banging on the window, dressed in the Elf suit.
And the thing is, that is really how Caleb First is as a person. He's one of the funniest guys on this team. He's a joy to be around. So not much acting goes into that as more than it is being himself.
Turnover. You're telling me he's putting syrup on his spaghetti?
I hope not.
Cannot wait. Big Ten play getting started in earnest. Don't forget that after our game, we get Iowa and Nebraska. 4th game of men's hoops. Iowa and Purdue, and women's hoops right after that. So sit on your couch. We're only about halfway through our full day of basketball, and we got the big show after.
And I'm looking forward to that Purdue women's game versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. Caitlin Clark turned into one of my favorite basketball players, not just in college ball, but just an entire game of basketball.
And Caleb First gets fouled and heads to the free throw line.
Purdue has 3-4 guys that you can throw the ball into on the block and go and make a play. Caleb First is feeling it right now. Great pass by Brandan Smith, putting it on his numbers, just going to finish with the best of them. Caleb First can shoot the 3. He can make a play off the bounce. He can post up. It's going to be special to watch his career maturate over time.
He's almost doubled his scoring from last year. About 4 points a game last year, 7.5 this year. And running the floor with ease in this game so far. Got 10 points, perfect from the floor, 4 of 4. Florida A&M was slow starting the first half, and still not much falling in the second half. And that ball snuggled by Zach Edey on the rebound.
Florida A&M has got to find a way to get something going to the rim, get Zach Edey to commit, maybe make a jump stop.
We got hit off his course setting that screen. But rebounded to save the ball. And another contested catch. And that'll stay with Purdue at 10 to shoot. A lot of limbs, a lot of forearms, a lot of things flying at Zach Edey. You know, you talk to Purdue staff, and it's not like they want to give away and have us talk about it on TV, ways that they think Zach Edey can be stopped. But you talk to other coaches, too, and there's not really a straightforward answer on how it's going to go in the Big Ten.
It's not much you can do. You can put 2 or 3 guys on them and make Purdue beat you from 3, which they struggle doing. If they make shots, they beat you. But if you stay one-on-one, he's got a good chance of scoring that ball, getting to the free throw line, putting your bigs in foul trouble.
Well, that can loosen things up even more, too. Brandan Smith with 7 on the night. Now here's Edey playing perimeter defense on Chapman, and he didn't touch it, but he altered it. And influencing the shot with numbers now for Purdue, a 5-on-4. Smith turning the corner, giving it up. And Morton for 3. Nope. And First with a whistle. And that'll go against Purdue. Rattlers get it back. Going to be a foul on First. Number 1 on him. So Trey Kaufman-Renn coming back onto the floor for the Boilermakers. That was a really good run for first. He had a couple plays in transition, couple at the foul line.
Just a great run to start this second half, coming out with energy, making sure that this team went up and went up in a big way. This second group, this second lineup, they're going to have to keep this momentum and keep this energy going on the defensive end.
We got Gillis in there with Kaufman-Renn and Edey out of the game. And Lawyer on the floor, also David Jenkins at the guard with Newman. And it's Jenkins roping that free. And leading the break with Lawyer going into traffic. And it's bumped out off of Florida A&M.
Good help defense by David Jenkins reaching in there and getting that pass on that curl cut. Brandan Newman is trailing this play, and David Jenkins was in the right place. Fletcher Lawyer got bumped here. I just think he's got to go finish that with his left hand and get an and one there.
You read the lips?
100%.
You knew what he said?
Yes, sir. He wanted that foul call, but I think young fella as a freshman, just go in there and finish that with your left hand. Don't go looking for contact.
Oh, that is not a subtle swab in his nose either. How's he going to play with that?
How's he going to breathe with that in?
It's taking up both nostrils.
It's a tough kid, though, for Fort Wayne, Indiana.
I ran this by Trent Meacham the other day when we did the game. Have you seen the movie She's the Man?
I have.
Okay, so you get that reference. Plugging up the bloody nose.
Come on, Trent. Trent's got to get that one.
He looked at me like, I don't know if I've been watching that one with my kids. There's Stevens, short. And a long rebound out to Brandan Newman. So Purdue with this new look group in, subbing out Edey, subbing out first. And we got going into full court, now into the half court with Kaufman-Renn. Couple bounces, hook shot, pure.
When it's one-on-one with Trey Kaufman-Renn, you got to send help. I know he's Purdue's backup five-man, but he deserves that type of attention, that type of respect. This guy's a bucket on that block.
And I know he had the 24 against New Orleans, but it's not like he's not going to have a couple games in the Big Ten. Already won. He redshirted, of course, last year, had that knee injury. High school, he was down in Sellersburg, Indiana, at Silver Creek High School. It's basically Louisville. And he broke Steve Green's scoring record down there. That was Bob Knight's first recruit.
History.
Yeah. Yeah, so he is up there with some names down in southern Indiana history. And it's Trey Kaufman-Renn, who's got 11 points.
So give it right back to him.
Yep. Had to work to get it, and he gets fouled by Saheed Burnside.
I mean, if you're Florida A&M, you think Zach Edey comes out the game, you think you can relax a little bit in the post. Here comes Trey Kaufman-Renn coming to do work. He's physical. He's post-ups with his body. He doesn't just go for it with an arm. It's going to be fun to see him and Caleb First take the reins.
Well, Purdue's not just putting 6'1" guys on the floor when Zach Edey's out of the game. And back into him. Oh, he's looking for a poster. He got denied. Purdue keeps it. Nice help side block for Bates.
A lot of contact, but good block by Bates.
And down to 3 to shoot, no reset. Here's Jenkins, late in the clock. And that's too strong. So they let him play on with Kaufman-Renn. Mean intentions going in there. Here's Bates, top scorer, splitting 2, and he goes up hard. And those two guys coming together again. And Purdue fans saying, what? It's the same thing we just saw down the other way.
Two guys playing hard, playing physical. Trey Kaufman-Renn going up to finish. Got hit with a forearm there, got hit with a little body. The same thing on the other end. Trey Kaufman-Renn just gets called for the foul, goes up, hits him on the wrist right there, which is why Bates gets that one. Physical game. This is a man's game. Coach Painter always tells you in practice, this is a man's game, and this game is not for the weak.
And Bates might have been spying on Purdue shoot-around then, because those were two big, strong, fearless plays that he just made.
I mean, yeah, Bates just went up with ill intentions, tried to rip the rim off.
And it's come at some volume this year for Bates. Those scoring numbers of just under 11 per night. And not really a role that Florida A&M was ready to put him into at the start of the season, but he's had to be that. Yeah,
Bates has got to be a guy that's averaging 15, 16 points for this Florida A&M team to compete in the SWAC. And Coach McCullum has a lot of confidence that he can do it. It's just a matter of how can he get him there.
There's Newman, and that rattles down.
good decision right there by Brandan Newman. That's what Coach wants. Be aggressive, but be patiently aggressive. Curl tight off of that screen. The defense is not there with you. Nice, easy pull-up 15-foot.
And Newman, good back-to-back scoring games. Had 8 before Christmas, 9 tonight. And another foul on Trey Kaufman-Renn.
Or how good of shots they get. This half, they're shooting the ball 57% from the field. They haven't turned it over, and it allows them to get back and set their defense.
You know, you look at different numbers to gauge how a team might turn you over, obviously, with the film in front of you, too. But whether you look at turnover numbers or pace, it's a low number that Purdue's giving it away. And they're not taking it away a lot, but some of that has to do with that pace that we're talking about.
Yeah, they don't try to speed you up. They play at their pace every single time. And defensively, they're just compact. They make you take tough shots. They make you take bad ones at the rim. And then Zach Edey, Trey Kaufman-Renn, Caleb First, they clean up that glass.
There's a Newman 3. So he's got 12 on the night. Another double-digit scoring game for Brandan Newman.
You get Brandan Newman, you get TKR. David Jenkins starts making some shots. This Purdue second lineup could be dangerous, just as good as the first.
And through the back door, that goes down. Jordan Tillman, strong move.
Florida A&M has gotten that back cut 2 or 3 times in the last few possessions. Purdue got to have a head on the swivel and see ball you man.
And so those are some of the nuances you were looking at coming out of halftime.
Yeah, 100%. How are you going to come out lackadaisical, or are you going to come out and start the half the way you started the game?
Off-ball foul with Newman being chased down a screen.
You're David Jenkins. You got to be able to see the ball right here, not just play lazy defense, be able to see that basketball and don't get back cut. If you're guarding that ball, you've got to pressure it and not let that be an easy pass going to the basket.
And that was Tillman going into the help side defense with a guy 7 inches taller than him. There's Newman at the free throw line. And the front end of the 1-and-1, no good. But Florida A&M fumbles it out of bounds.
That just goes to the fight of Mason Gillis, attacking that offensive glass. Even though he doesn't get it, he tips it a little bit. TKR stays around it. Florida A&M just couldn't come up with that ball.
And Miles Hall getting some second half run for Florida A&M. He was the one right there. Well, Purdue keeps it. And running a couple guys circling around that screen, and Florida A&M with a bump from Tillman. We were talking about pace before. Wisconsin and Purdue play at the slowest pace in the Big Ten. When they get together in conference, what do you think the score of that game will be?
That game will be played in the 60s. It'll be played in the 60s.
I didn't know if you're going to dip down even further.
No, I think it'll be played in the 60s. I think Purdue can score the basketball a little bit better than what people are giving them. These last 3 games, they just haven't made shots. And against Wisconsin, they're going to force you to make shots. And this is the game where Purdue is rolling. They can go in there and they can beat them up.
And Jenkins hits the first one this time.
Wisconsin's picked 10th to finish in the Big Ten, 15th in the country right now. Those dudes just know how to win. They know how to play the game.
That doesn't really add up, right?
I don't see how guys are still betting against Wisconsin.
And Purdue's gotten to the line 25 times. And that's a pretty common disparity in non-conference. Purdue out shooting teams from the free throw line. They just don't allow you to get there much in how they've defended in the first 13 games. And a steal for Brandan Newman. Going one-on-one with Hall on the crossover, cradling it in for 2.
It's a great move by Brandan Newman, slowing down, having patience in the fast break setting, and then going to finish through that contact. But when he's engaged defensively, this is what you see from him on the offensive end.
And there's a lot of zigging and zagging on his way on that move to the rim. You're right, very patient. Hitting Purdue to 70 on the night. Another off-ball foul. Offense, defense, no pass needed for Newman.
Yeah, Newman just sticking with the play, not giving up on him, and then just attacking one-on-one to the basket, going to finish with that right hand. Newman is a 6'5", 6'6" wing, can finish it in the paint, finish through contact. He's going to just add so much to this Purdue team off the bench.
And it was not an easy year for him last year. but he hung with it. He said transferring was never an option. Loves this place so much. And super motivated by that. He had the on-ball defense to force the air ball. And to the cross court, a three. In and out. And Gillis. Oh, you can hear that sound off for Bates. And that call's going to go against Purdue, but Bates went down hard. And still down for Florida A&M.
Hard fall by Bates, but I'm just not sure where that foul is. Bates looked like he fell on his own. Maybe got twisted in the air, but tough fall. That's going to need some ice on that one in the morning.
Yeah, look, he didn't get touched. He didn't.
This was an awkward jump.
So you understand that part, but also, ouch.
That one's going to hurt.
Oh. And Bates is going to stay in.
Tough dude.
Yeah. Remember, Bates was the one going right into the bigs of Purdue. Had the block on Trey Kaufman-Renn. And so he's taking some hits in the second half. Walking gingerly, setting the screen in the baseline here. 5 and green. And that's Jalen Bates. Gets a touch here. How well is he feeling after that fall? And he got the shot up with the rebound for Kaufman-Renn. I'm impressed he could get that up. And you can still see it on his face, not feeling right. And the shot goes down for David Jenkins.
That's a big shot for David Jenkins. Not just because of this game, but just how he shot the ball this season. Shooting around 20% from three. This guy's career average is 40%. He starts making them, again, just adds a bonus layer to this Purdue offense.
Yeah, plenty of sample there, too. 4 years of college, shooting it at 40%. And maybe tonight is the turning point for him at his outside shot. And Kaufman-Renn wrestles that away. 3. Gillis, no. I tell you, this is a holiday crowd. Students are on break. Nobody has left in a game that Purdue is winning by almost 40. They were engaged on that last defensive trip.
You've got to respect Purdue fans. They just want to see you play hard, play the game the right way, share it, play defense, and they'll cheer for you. Diving on the floor, taking the charge, getting a stop here, it's just like dunking on somebody.
Oh, Jenkins feeling good. And clips the rim out of bounds. Well, Purdue up big, trying to get to 13-0. It'll be their third 13-0 start ever. I'm going to ask you to pick a favorite between the three teams. This year's team, 2009-2010, that was Etuan Moore, Juwan Johnson, Robbie Hummel.
I don't need to hear the rest.
You don't need the rest?
No, it's that team.
94 with Big Dog and Conzo Martin?
No, I'm picking the 09-2010 team. That was a team where I committed to Purdue in 2009. So that was a team that really made me love this university. I mean, you think about Robbie's first half against Ohio State. You think about Etuan's game against Ohio State that next year, the way Juwan Johnson progressed. I mean, that was one of my favorite teams of all time.
Hold on now. You said that Big Dog Glenn Robinson was your favorite player of all time, though.
I say he's the best college basketball player of all time. That Purdue team with Kramer and Keaton Grant, and before Robbie got hurt, that team was special.
Any love for DJ Bird, Crawfordsville's finest?
Oh, DJ Bird, that was my senior. He taught me everything I know about leadership. DJ Bird, Drew Winthrop, those are great seniors to have.
And Brandan Newman gets hit, makes it, and goes to the free throw line.
And this is who Brandan Newman can be. He's a guy that can shoot the ball from three. He can attack and play off the dribble, get into the paint and finish. He's strong, he's big, he's athletic. It's just all about being simple and doing what they ask of him every day in practice and every game.
So 16 matching his season high. Does he have a new season high? Not here. And Purdue still tracking down the miss. And we got a tie-up. Arrows with Florida A&M.
You know, Connor, I got the slightest feeling that Brandan Newman will get a couple more shots up before this one is over.
Well, the way him and Jenkins have stepped into a couple here late, I think you're right.
When he keeps it simple, when he's catch and shoot, 1 or 2 dribbles, a straight line drive to the basket, that's when he's at his best. That's when he's one of the better guards, not just on this team, but he could be in the league.
It's a great point, but I kind of wanted to hear your DJ Bird stories.
DJ Bird, he was a great senior. I mean, we played in the CBI that year. It wasn't what we wanted. Actually, no, we didn't as the next year. But DJ Bird was a great leader, a great teammate. He could shoot the basketball. He's just tough as nails.
Oh, Brandan Newman with the pancake. Will they reward him? Not yet. First. Oh, now Newman after the big block. In and out. First offensive glass. Newman's been achingly close his last two shots to setting that new season best. Here's Jenkins. And tapped out first, a third chance for Purdue on this trip. Newman wants it. It's flying. He's getting it up. Right at the rim. There's the new season high.
Great move. Great pump fake to get the defense off balance. And just a pretty drive with his left hand. One dribble to the basket. But how about Caleb first? You're up almost 40 points, and he's still playing as hard as he can, getting those tip-out rebounds. This guy plays with all effort all game.
And here he is on defense. Out on the hedge. Recovers back on Williams. And 8 to shoot. And Tillman the miss. Rebound for Newman. Newman wants the ball right now. And it's fun with guys like Newman. You got Waddell from Carmel. You got Fletcher Lawyer from Homestead. Purdue dipping back into the recruiting grounds of star players of the past to get those three guys. And that goes through, plus a foul for Jenkins.
You scored over 1,800 points. You just know how to score the basketball. Gets to his spot, is patient, poised, footwork, and able to knock it down through the contact. David Jenkins can score with the best of in the country. It's just all about getting into a rhythm. And once he gets going, once he's figuring out how to come off the bench, playing in limited minutes, being effective, scary for the Big Ten.
More than doubled his season scoring numbers on the night. And you see that number, a little over 3 a game. It's his smallest role scoring-wise of his career, but obviously he's on the best team of his career, so there's the give and take on that.
And it's interesting to see. Sometimes you see guys, they transfer to a different situation and they want more. They want more minutes. They want more shots. They want to average more points. But he's came into Purdue and accepted that he wanted to win. He wanted to win more. He wanted to play in the NCAA tournament, want to be in the Final Four contending team. That's exactly what he's got, and he's accepted that role.
He was on some championship teams early in his career with the Jackrabbits up at South Dakota State. Won 2 Summit League titles there. And a shot blindly on a foul. Richard Matthews couldn't see the rim. He goes to the foul line. Robert McCollum, he knew it was going to be tough to play in here tonight. That goes without saying, but without hesitation, when he was an assistant at Illinois and coming back here now, said there's no doubt this is the hardest place to play in the Big Ten. It was in 2000. It was coming back in here tonight. For the biggest Big Ten experience, there's no plus like home. Big Ten Plus app powered by Big Ten Network. Download and subscribe now.
Coach McCollum talked about those Brian Cardinal, those Brad Miller, Mike Robinson, those teams, and how he never could beat them. It just goes to show that the Big Ten is a tough league to play in, and it has been that way the last, almost 100 years?
Haven't seen all of them, but yeah. People say so. Sources say, yeah. Well, Matt Painter was getting on us about that sort of stuff today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He was throwing out players from the 50s. Like, how did you not know who was playing in the NBA? There's a second chance score for Burnside. Yeah, but Matt Painter was naming like the 6th guy on the Celtics bench in 1955 and expected that me and you would know something about their game.
He told us we work in basketball. We only got one job. We're supposed to know that, and I respect it.
Yeah, so it's next game we do together. Rolling out the 1955 Celtics.
Put together some PowerPoints.
Yeah, a little pick and pop. That goes down. And the bench lights it with Thomas scoring. Robert McCollum, Florida A&M's coach, was full of great stories, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Before we could really even get into some of the substantive stuff, he's got like 6 really good stories about his coaching journey, which has taken him mid-major, high major, even over to China. He's a head coach in China for a year.
And some of the recruiting stories he told, how he was able to get some of the top players to go mid-major. It's an all-around great coach, great guy.
Got to Southern Illinois, and he was recruiting a guy out of Mississippi that really put him on the map, and he had a unique way of getting him to commit to that school.
Yeah, he had him on campus, and before he left campus, he sat him down and had 5 African American men from the town, all with their PhDs, and he let them know. In Carbondale, they take care of their own, they take care of each other, and the young man ended up committing to go to Southern Illinois over in Arkansas, who came in at the last second. But it just speaks to show that Coach McCullum, he knows how to get to his guys when he's recruiting them. He knows what they care about, and the way he can have impact not just on their basketball career, but on their life.
And the really cool connection to Big Ten Network from that, Dr. Harold Bardot, the father of Stephen Bardot, was one of the guys with a PhD that sat in that meeting that launched the career of Robert McCullum.
It's just crazy how the world works out and how timing works out. And I've actually heard Stephen Bardot tell me stories about his father and the things he would do in the town. And it was neat to hear it play out in real life.
Called some games where Dr. Bardot is sitting next to you. He's like a coach opposite of the coaches out there. You know, one of the kindest people ever, and him and Steven sound a lot alike, I gotta say.
That's cool, dude.
I think he gets his voice from his dad. 2 minutes to go. Purdue on their way to 13-0 before the start of the Big Ten. And Gillis on the putback. No. Couple right at the rim. And Florida A&M will get into SWAC play, this unrelenting non-conference schedule for them. Number 2 strength of schedule in the country. And they'll go into SWAC play starting the new year. And shot goes down. Nice shot out of the corner. And Florida A&M back on the board. And we'll get subs in for Purdue. Chase Martin, Sam King into the game for the Boilermakers. And a good day for Jenkins. Checking out, 7 points. Got to the free throw line a couple of times. And his day likely done. And Carson Barrett also in for Purdue. Needs a little help. Oh, tried the wraparound dribble. Florida A&M away with it. And in and out on the layup. And Barrett chases down the miss. And Martin lost the handle, took it to the rim anyway.
Got to be cool for Martin to come in and play on the same floor that his father played on. And for Coach Payne to be able to coach his teammate's son, that's got to be a joy to watch. I couldn't imagine coaching P.J. Thompson's son here in 20 years. Just don't know what I would do with him.
Pull-up jump, no. Are you predicting a coaching future for yourself? Is that what you're getting at?
You know, we might see.
Now let's see if Barrett gets one up. 3 for Martin. Oh, almost had 5 in a row.
You're in the game, you got to get him up.
And Tillman off the shot fake. And he gets fouled on what will probably be Florida A&M's last chance to get points in this game.
I mean, but you see when Martin gets a shot up, you see the entire Purdue bench stand up to their feet hoping that it goes in. And that's just a good sign of a good locker room. They're rooting for all of their guys, no matter if he's Zach Edey, National Player of the Year, or if you're Martin coming in to finish the game minutes.
And Tillman hits. Coming up next, Big Ten basketball is back. Hawkeyes and Huskers are in Lincoln. Big Ten basketball presented by Rocket Mortgage. Coming up next on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. That sounds like a healthy Iowa team.
Healthy Iowa team is a dangerous basketball club.
Well, Purdue's getting to 13-0 for the 3rd time in school history, and they'll go into 2023 likely still number 1 and definitely undefeated.